Hey guys, it's Miss Schulman here. Try not to make fun of me too much, and Amanda, listen up. No making fun of my voice. I don't want to hear it tomorrow. Got it? Alright guys, today we are talking about integer exponents. And let's just kind of review for a minute before we get started. So we have our base, we have our exponent, I'm going to abbreviate, and all together we have our power. Little vocab. And in order to solve this, we would be doing 3 times itself 3 times. It's not base times your exponent. It's your base multiplied by itself however many times your exponent tells you. And that would give me 27. All right. So let's complete this table here together. It gives a sum. 5 to the 4th equals 625. 5 to the 3rd equals 125. 5 squared equals 25. 5 to the 1st equals 5. 5 to the 0. And these should be negative exponents. But anyway, what did we notice as we're moving down? We are dividing by the base. Or in this case, we're dividing by 5. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. What's 1 divided by 5? 1/5. 1/5 divided by 5 would give me 1/25. Let's look at this one. As we move down, we have a base of 4, and what are you noticing? We're dividing by 4. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 divided by 4 is 1/4. And 1/4 divided by 4 is 1/16. If you notice, our -2 is very similar to our 4 to the 2nd power, just the negative is a fraction. And our last one, we have a base of 3. What do we notice? It looks like we're dividing by 3. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 1 divided by 3 is 1/3. 1/9, and so on. So we could say that a basic rule for anything to the 0 power is going to be always, no matter what, 1. And a rule for x to a negative power, it looks like it's 1 over x to that power. If you was to the negative 2nd power, it would be 1 over x squared. You just put a 1 over it. Let's take a look at these patterns. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 3's being multiplied, so that must mean my exponent is 5. And now it looks like I have some grouped. So I have 4 grouped together and 1 by itself. But how many 3's do I still have? I have 5. This one I have 3 3's grouped together, 2 3's grouped together, and all together I have 5. What can you guys tell me? What does it look like we're doing, especially with the groupings? How do we start with 3 to the 3rd, 3 to the 2nd, and end up with 3 to the 5th? It looks like we did 3 to the 3rd plus 2 equals 3 to the 5th. It's a really big exponent, sorry. It looks like we were adding our exponents. Let's look at another one. 4 to the 5th divided by 4/3. So I wrote them out, and as I was going, I was crossing them out, and I ended up with just 2 4's on top. 4 times 4 equals 4 squared. So how did we end up with 4 squared when we started with 4 to the 5th divided by 4 to the 3rd? Look at those exponents, 5, 3, and a 2. It looked like we subtracted our exponents. When we divided, we subtracted the exponents. And this one, raising a power to a power. Well, 5 to the 3rd would be 5 times 5 times 5, and I'm squaring that whole thing. So that means I need to multiply 3 5's by another 3 5's, which is what I did here, which gives me 5 to the 6th. So how did we have 5 to the 3rd raised to the 2nd power equals 5 to the 6th? What do you notice? It looks like we multiplied our exponents. So we had, when we were multiplying, we added. When we divided, we subtracted. And when we were raising a power to a power, we multiplied. Pause it here and write this down. Last but not least, we're going to use those rules to help us solve equations easier. Remember PEMDAS. And I'm going to start with my parentheses. So 5 minus 2 is 3. I have 3 to the 5th times 3 to the negative 8th plus 7 to the 0 power. Well, anything to the 0 power we said was 1. 3 to the 5 times 3 to the negative 8. When we're multiplying with the same base, we're going to be adding. So 5 plus a negative 8 gives me 3 to the negative 3rd plus 1. Well, we said at the very beginning when we have a negative exponent, it goes to the bottom. So I really have 3 to the 3rd on the bottom, which gives me 1 over 27 plus 1 whole, which is going to equal 1 and 1/27. That's all. All right, guys, finish by answering the last question that's coming up, and have a good night. I will see you guys tomorrow.